seriously wrong. "Hey," I mumbled, wiping my eyes. "You all right?" His voice came through low, steady. "Where's Jenna?" That yanked me awake. I sat up, heart already racing. "Dallas. HR Summit. Why?" He didn't respond right away. Just silence on the line, heavy like someone holding back something sharp. "Kev, what's going on?" "She just checked into the strip house suite at the club 3 hours ago. Used your debit card. Real name, I didn't say anything." I just stared at the wall, trying to replay every conversation Jenna and I'd had that week. She'd flown out Monday. Said she'd be back Friday. I helped her pack. Kevin spoke again, quieter now. "She's not alone, bro." Quick note. Before listening, share in the comments which city or country you're watching from. And let's continue. I clenched the phone tighter. "Who is it?" "Jake Sloan," he said. "Big guy, gym building, dark beard. That the name?" I didn't answer, because I already knew. The moment he said it, my stomach flipped. Jake, Jenna's harmless co-worker, the one she always joked about, the one she swore was just a buddy, always tagging her in stupid memes. I'd asked once, maybe twice, if anything was going on. She laughed like I was crazy. Kevin didn't say, "I told you so." He just kept his voice level, like he knew what this would do to me. "I've got proof," he said. "Camera feed, receipts, timestamps. You want me to send it?" I rubbed my eyes, teeth clenched so tight my jaw hurt. "Not yet." "You want me to shut the card down? Kick her out?" "No," I said. "Let her spend. Let her think she's untouchable." Kevin paused. "You sure?" "Yeah," I said, cold now. "Let her dig the hole herself. I want everything. Footage, logs, every receipt with her name on it." "You got it," he said. "What's the move?" I stared at the ceiling. The silence in the room loud as hell. My chest felt like it was made of stone, but my brain was already moving. "We're not confronting her. We're ending her." He gave a low whistle. "All right, I'll keep her comfortable. Make it count." I nodded even though he couldn't see me. "Upgrade the suite." "What?" "You heard me. Let her live it up. Same room we stayed in for our anniversary last year, right?" "Yup, same one." "Perfect," I said. "Give her the royal treatment. One last time." I hung up and sat there in the dark. No rage, no tears, just silence. But inside something clicked. This wasn't going to be a fight. It was going to be a funeral. I didn't move from that spot for a long time. Just sat there on the couch, elbows on my knees, phone in my hand. Room dead quiet. No TV, no music. Just the hum of the fridge down the hall and the creak of the AC kicking in every once in a while. Every shadow in that room looked like a reminder. The couch still smelled faintly like her hair products. Lavender and something fake sweet. That stupid throw blanket she always wrapped around herself was bunched up next to me. I didn't touch it. Then my phone buzzed again. First one pic, then another. Then a whole stream of them came through. Kevin wasn't kidding about the proof. These weren't grainy screenshots or blurry zoom-ins from a corner camera. These were crystal clear, high-res shots. Jenna in her swim cover-up, drink in one hand, her other hand wrapped around Jake's wrist, laughing like she hadn't lied to my face for months. Next shot, her head on his shoulder, both of them laying out like a couple on vacation. Then the one that punched straight through me. Her kissing him outside the suite door. Same damn suite we stayed in on our anniversary trip. Same balcony view. Same black iron railing she leaned against when we toasted 2 years. I stared at the screen until the backlight timed out. I didn't blink, didn't move. My hands felt like bricks. My chest was hollow. It wasn't rage, not yet. It was the silence that hit me first. The kind of silence that gets inside your bones and stays there. Kevin texted again. "Want me to shut the card down? Cut the weekend short?" I didn't even think about it. I typed back fast. "No. Let her spend. Let her think she's got it made. Let her dig her own grave with every damn receipt." I leaned back and cracked my neck, then sent another message. "Send everything. I want the receipts, room service logs, timestamps, camera feeds if you've got them. I want a folder so fat she can't talk her way out of it. Kevin didn't ask why. He just replied, already compiling. Gonna take a few hours. Then I added one more thing. Upgrade their suite. Go all out. There was a pause before he wrote back. You serious? Thought you'd want her crawling. Not yet, I typed. Roll out the red carpet. Let her feel like royalty. I want her to think she's on top of the world right before it collapses. He replied with one word. Done. I put the phone down and stood up, walked into the kitchen and opened the fridge just to do something. I wasn't hungry, but I grabbed a beer and twisted the cap off with my shirt. My hands were shaking, but not from sadness. From the tension crawling through every inch of me, from knowing exactly what was happening 3 states over while she thought I was asleep in our bed, none the wiser. I sat back down, drank half the beer in one go. My heart was steady now, not calm, but focused. And it wasn't just about Jenna cheating. That was the fire starter. What hit deeper was the effortlessness of it, the audacity. Her walking in there under her real name, using my debit card like she couldn't care less, like I was just some ATM back home with a pillow. She didn't even try to hide it. No burner cards, no fake name. Just out in the open, laughing, touching, kissing a guy I already didn't like. That smug bastard she used to say reminded her of Ryan Reynolds if he sold insurance. That's what she said once. Like it was a harmless joke. Guess the joke's on me now. Kevin's pics came through in groups, time stamped down to the second. There was one of Jake handing over the room key, one of Jenna snapping a selfie with champagne in the elevator mirror, then another, her phone in one hand, clearly texting. Could have been me on the other end. I wouldn't know. Probably telling me she missed me while climbing into bed with him. I didn't delete anything. I saved every photo into a folder on my desktop labeled Inventory. Cold, clean, organized, just like how I felt now. That night, I didn't sleep. Just sat in that living room while the city outside kept breathing and moving like nothing had happened. She'd made her bed. Now I was making the blueprint for how she was going to lie in it. The sun hadn't even cleared the neighbor's fence when I grabbed my phone and called the bank. I was sitting at the kitchen counter, half a cup of reheated coffee in front of me, last night's screenshots still open on my laptop. The customer service lady asked for a reason. I told her the card had been used without my permission. Technically true. She said, "You'll need to file a fraud claim." "I will," I said. "Just freeze it for now. No more charges go through." "Understood," she said. "It's disabled as of now." I hung up, grabbed my coffee, and walked back into the living room. 5 minutes later, Kevin's text buzzed in. She just tried to order poolside drinks. Got declined. She's confused as hell. Playing it off like it's no big deal. Jake looks uncomfortable. I smiled without even meaning to. Tension drained from my shoulders just a little. That was the first crack. I didn't respond. I just waited. Let it cook. 2 hours went by. I didn't leave the couch. Just watched the clock tick and scrolled through photos I shouldn't have had to see. Then another text from Kevin came through. She's at the front desk. Big scene. Manager's involved. She's demanding to know why her card isn't working. Jake's not helping. He's standing 10 feet back like he doesn't even know her. I leaned forward, elbows on my knees, watching the 3 little dots dance while Kevin typed again. She's saying it must be a glitch. Wants the suite charges comped for the inconvenience. I didn't reply. I just waited for what I knew was coming. Sure enough, 15 minutes later, my phone lit up with Jenna's name. I let it ring halfway before picking up. "Hey, babe," she said, trying to sound casual, but her voice was tight. Too chipper, like she'd rehearsed it in the mirror. "How's your morning?" I kept my tone light, calm, polite. "It's good. You?" "Oh, just dealing with something weird. I'm in New York and my card's acting up. Tried to buy a smoothie and it got declined. Isn't that weird?" "New York, huh?" I let that hang just long enough for her to feel it. "That is weird." She pushed on. "Yeah, I called the bank but couldn't get through. Thought maybe you saw something strange and froze it. I sipped my coffee. Nope, just reported it stolen. She paused. I could hear it, the panic sneaking in behind her next words. Stolen? Yeah, I said, real casual. Someone used it 3 hours from Dallas to check into a Vegas suite. Thought you were in New York, though? Silence. Then, what are you talking about? You checked into Strip House last night, I said. Suite 17A. Same room we celebrated our anniversary in. Funny enough, Kevin was there. Her voice cracked. Kevin? Yeah. He says hi. Said you looked comfortable. I heard a long breath on the other end, like she was trying not to scream. I can explain. I smiled and stood up, walking to the window. I'm sure you can, just not to me. She tried again. Look, I don't know what you think you saw, but it's not what I think I saw. I cut her off. It's what I've got in 4K from 10 different angles. You're not sneaky, you're lazy. Another beat of silence. Then she dropped the act. You froze the funds? Yep, you and Jake might want to dig through your bags for loose change, or maybe he's got a savings account. Doubt it, though. Guy looks like he lives on creatine and cheap vodka. You're being cruel, she snapped. No, I said calmly. I'm being precise. Then I ended the call. The second the line went dead, I tossed the phone on the counter and just stood there. I didn't feel victorious. Not yet. But I felt clean. Like I'd stepped outside of something rotten and finally caught fresh air. I spent the rest of the afternoon organizing the file folder, labeled every screenshot, matched them with timestamps, organized receipts in order. Kevin kept sending updates like clockwork. Around 7:30 that evening, his final text came in. She's sitting outside by the valet loop. Alone. Then he sent a photo. Jenna on a bench, arms crossed tight over her chest. No makeup, no smile. Hair pulled back in a sloppy bun. The hotel lights made her look pale, dead behind the eyes. Her suitcase at her feet, half zipped. Jake was nowhere in sight. I stared at that photo for a long time. She looked like someone who just realized the plane wasn't delayed. It was gone, and the gate was locked behind her. I didn't reply. Didn't ask what happened. I already knew. She'd bet everything on a weekend lie, and lost. By sunrise, my phone buzzed again. Kevin, sending me a live play-by-play. She's losing it, yelling at staff, keeps demanding comped loyalty rates, swears she's a diamond elite. I read it half asleep, still lying on the couch. I hadn't gone to bed. Just dozed off here and there, waking up every hour like my brain wouldn't let me rest until the job was done. I texted back, Jake still around? Kevin replied, nope, ghosted, left before dawn, took his gym bag, didn't even say goodbye. I sat up and let that one sink in. Jenna had traded a stable life for a guy who bailed on her before breakfast. Couldn't have scripted it better. I got up, poured myself another coffee, this time black, no cream, no sugar, and sat down at the kitchen counter. It was time for phase 2. First step, lock her out of everything. I opened up our joint bank app and deleted her access. Changed every password, set up 2-factor auth and routed it all through my number. Then I jumped over to the business account tied to our home remodeling side hustle. Killed her login there too. Froze all admin roles except mine. Then I opened the credit card portal, the one we both used, and clicked the freeze button. Card disabled. Autopay's blocked. Travel rewards gone. I stared at her name under the Authorized Users tab for a second, then clicked Remove. Next was the cell plan. I called the provider, gave them my ID and had her line shut down. Done in under 5 minutes. No warning, no backup SIM. Let her borrow someone else's phone if she needed to cry. Then I took a breath, sat back in my chair, cracked my knuckles, and made the call that sealed it all. My lawyer, Tom Krantz, answered on the second ring. Morning, man. Everything all right? Ready to file separation, I said. Citing adultery. You'll have evidence. There was a pause. That's fast. Yeah, I said. She made it easy. Tom didn't ask for drama. Just said, email me what you've got. I'll get the paperwork started. I sent the folder. Every photo, receipt, card transaction, time-stamped hotel log. It looked more like a fraud case than a marriage imploding. By late morning, my hands weren't even shaking anymore. I wasn't numb. I was clear. Focused. Done pretending this was salvageable. Then I moved to the public front. Jenna had always posted us like we were a Disney couple. Curated smiles, vacation shots, motivational captions about grinding together, rising together. It made me sick now, seeing her fake like that while planning her little getaways with Jake. I opened Facebook. Scrolled back 3 months to a post of her and me on a wine tour in Temecula. She'd captioned it, 2 hearts, 1 hustle. Built, not bought. I remembered standing next to her, feeling her fake that smile for the 10th take while I was thinking about deadlines and how we'd afford the new HVAC install. Under that post, I wrote one line, hope Jake enjoyed Vegas, receipts incoming, no hashtags, no anger, just facts. Within 5 minutes, I saw the notification. Jenna responded to your comment. By the time I clicked it, her profile was gone, deleted, vanished. Kevin texted a minute later. She's on her phone losing her mind. Thinks she just saw your post. She's pacing the lobby in a damn panic. I wrote back, you still got the post saved? He replied instantly. Every word. Screenshotted and backed up. Even got a screen record of her entire profile. You know I'm thorough. I laughed. First real laugh in days. Kevin always did have my back. But now he was surgical. I logged out of Facebook and sat back again, staring at the wall, listening to the air vent hum above me. I didn't feel guilt. I didn't feel mercy. What I felt was controlled. She'd been reckless. I'd been patient. Now the trap was closed, and she knew it. I grabbed my keys and headed out for a drive. Not far, just up to the ridge behind the neighborhood where you can see all the way down into the valley. Sun was beating down by then, mid-morning heat already thick. I parked, rolled the window down, let the breeze hit my face. Out there, I thought about what she was doing right then, sitting in a luxury hotel lobby, no working cards, no phone line, and the guy she cheated with already long gone. I could almost picture her trying to sweet-talk the manager one more time, voice cracking, makeup smudged, trying to remember which lie she told last. And no matter what she said, nothing worked. Because behind every door she tried, I'd already changed the locks. I drove straight home from the ridge, walked inside, and pulled up her company directory. Jenna's work email was still saved in my autofill. She'd used our desktop a few times when she couldn't focus on her laptop. I clicked compose, attached everything, the hotel logs, the room service receipts, bar tabs, time-stamped photos, even the sweet upgrade invoice with her name right there on it. Subject line, expense report discrepancies, urgent. I didn't write anything in the body, just let the attachment speak. She worked in corporate HR, big title, bigger ego. She ran compliance workshops, gave hour-long Zoom speeches about ethics and leadership. She was supposed to be the example. Instead, she'd used her company card to cover the flight, then racked up charges on mine once they landed. I hit send. Less than an hour later, I got the bounce notification. Not an error, a forward alert. Her inbox had been redirected to her direct supervisor. Perfect. Around 2 in the afternoon, Kevin texted again. You see this yet? Then a screenshot. Jake wasn't just a coworker. He was her subordinate. Showed up in an old Instagram story of hers from some company retreat. He was listed under her on the org chart, too. Kevin found it through LinkedIn. Their job descriptions overlapped. Big no-no in their company's policy manual. And that wasn't all. Jake was also married. Kevin figured that out fast, said he recognized the guy from some Vegas gym social page his girlfriend followed. That led to a tagged wedding photo. Savannah Sloan. Blonde, clean cut, private profile. but mutual circles overlapped with Jenna's from some women in business conference a year back. 3 hours later, Kevin sent another text. Savannah just made a call. Friend of hers works in their HR department. She knows. It's over. I sat back in my chair, stared at the ceiling, and waited. 48 hours. That's how long it took. First came the company-wide email Kevin's girlfriend forwarded. Effective immediately, Jenna Rhodes and Jake Sloan are no longer employed at Apex Group due to serious violations of corporate conduct policies. We do not tolerate abuse of company resources or power dynamics in the workplace. Second, Kevin sent a screenshot from Savannah's story. Just a black screen with 3 words. Found out. Done. By the next morning, Jenna called me. Unknown number. I let it ring, but then it came through again. Then again. I picked up the 4th time just to hear how far she'd fallen. Please, she said, her voice hoarse. I just need a flight home. No job, huh? I asked. She went quiet for a second. You sent it all to my work email. Everything. I did, I said. Didn't even watermark it. I wanted them to see it for themselves. Her voice cracked. I lost everything. I didn't say anything. She sniffed, then tried again. I don't have a card. I don't have any cash. I can't get home. I looked at the time. You still in Vegas? Yeah. All right, I said. I'll book you a flight. Really? But not what you're expecting. I logged in, found the cheapest red-eye out of McCarran that landed closest to home. 1 middle seat, 3 layovers, no carry-ons, no upgrades, no insurance, not even early boarding. Just a long, miserable journey with plenty of time to think. I booked it, texted her the info, didn't say anything else. When the day came, I knew exactly when she'd be landing. But I didn't go to the airport. I didn't even stay home. I left early, drove across town, and waited in the parking lot of a diner until I got the delivery notification. I'd left her a key envelope taped to the door, not to the house, but to a storage unit 20 minutes outside of town. Inside was everything she owned. I changed all the locks the week before, even the garage code, even the mailbox. Her name wasn't on the deed, and the lawyer confirmed she had no right to enter. The note on the door said, "Everything you own is in storage unit 047. Combo's our old alarm code. Goodbye." Nothing else. No signature, no argument. Just instructions, cold and clean. Kevin texted me not long after. She's standing outside your door, just staring at the note. No bags, just her purse and some busted roller case. Looks like she cried the whole flight. I asked him to keep it moving. Tell her it's all over. He did. She got an Uber to the storage unit. I know because I got a ping from the security cam inside the facility. She keyed in the code, our old alarm code, the one she used to laugh about being too easy to guess. She walked in, turned the lights on, and stopped in front of the stacked boxes. Every single thing labeled. Her clothes, her shoes, bathroom stuff, jewelry box. I'd even folded her wedding dress into a plastic tub. It was all there, and she had nowhere to put any of it. She stood in front of those boxes like someone staring into their own grave. But I wasn't watching the footage to pity her. I just wanted confirmation that she finally understood. She stood in that storage unit for close to an hour, according to the motion logs. Didn't touch a thing, just stared. Maybe hoping some box would open itself and tell her it was all just a nightmare. But nothing did. Next morning, I called my cousin Evan. He manages a pawn shop outside of Tempe, and brought in the ring. Platinum band, custom cut. Paid too much for it back then because she deserved something timeless. He didn't ask questions. Just checked the stone, slid over the cash, and gave me a receipt. On the way home, I pulled into a parking lot behind a strip mall and walked into a Veterans Outreach Center. I handed them the envelope with the full amount, told them to make the donation under her name. Didn't leave mine. I didn't do it to be noble. I did it because I wanted every trace of her to mean something to someone else. At least this way, that ring helped someone who didn't lie through their teeth while wearing it. Back home, I shut down everything else, changed my number, scrubbed her email from my contacts, took down our framed wedding photo and tossed it in a box marked trash. Quietly, efficiently, like erasing mold from drywall, she started couch surfing pretty much immediately. Word traveled fast. Vegas drama has a way of leaking into every room. The friend group that used to swarm our barbecue nights split down the middle. Most of them took a step back. Not because I told them to, but because no one trusts a woman who cheats sloppy and burns her own career in the same week. I heard from a couple mutuals that she was crashing on Ashley Dwyer's pullout, then over at some co-worker's studio in Flagstaff. A different place every few nights. People stopped offering real beds once the calls got desperate. She tried getting to me through back doors. First, it was my sister. Jenna called her late one night, sobbing about how sorry she was, saying she didn't expect it to go this far. My sister didn't say much to her, just hung up and called me. We had dinner the next day. She slid her phone across the table so I could hear the voicemail. "I know I made a mistake." Jenna's voice cracked, full of fake fragility. "But please, can you just ask him to call me? I don't know what else to do." Then came the co-workers. 2 of them texted me within the same week, said Jenna showed up at their offices pretending to be dropping something off, but really just fishing for sympathy. Both times she slipped in, asked how I was, then left without saying much else. One guy told her straight up, "You made your bed." When that didn't work, she showed up at my barber's shop, sat in the waiting area until he finally asked what she was doing there. She asked him to pass me a note. He didn't. He tossed it in the trash as soon as she left. After that, the voicemails started hitting my business line. Different numbers every time, prepaid phones, blocked caller IDs, even a landline from some church lobby based on the background noise. All the messages sounded the same. "I'm sorry. I miss you. I just need 5 minutes. I don't know who I am without you." I saved every one of them, labeled them by date, never listened to them twice. It wasn't about holding on to hope. It was about keeping the proof that even after everything, she never stopped performing, even when her audience had already walked out. I didn't answer. Never picked up. Not once. I wasn't playing her game. Then came the note. It was a Thursday. I'd just finished up a cabinet install across town and pulled into my driveway right as the sun was dipping low. I spotted it right away. A plain white envelope tucked under the wiper on my truck. No stamp. No address. Just my first name in handwriting I hadn't seen in weeks. I stood there for a second, debating whether to open it or set it on fire. Eventually, I opened it. Not out of curiosity. More out of obligation, like flipping the last page in a book you already hate. Inside, 1 page, front only, handwritten, no greeting. I know I can't fix what I did. I know I don't deserve a second chance, but I can't breathe without trying to reach you. I'm not asking for us to go back. I'm just asking you to talk to me. One time, please. That's all I'm asking. No signature, no return number, no address, nothing to reply to. I folded it up, put it in the glove box and closed it. Didn't tear it, didn't keep it on the fridge like some last-ditch relic. Just let it sit in the dark with the spare napkins and old registration forms, because that's all it was now. Clutter. She'd tried everything, and now she had nothing left to try. The letter sat in my glove box for 3 days before I answered. Not because I had doubts, those were long gone, but because I wanted her to feel the weight of silence. When I finally texted her a time and place, I didn't add pleasantries. Just the address of a diner on the edge of town and a 1-word message. Tomorrow. Neutral ground, far from our house. No history in the walls, just cheap booths, weak coffee, and a waitress who didn't ask questions. I got there 10 minutes early, sat in the corner booth where I could see the parking lot through the window. The folder was already on the table. Inside it, final divorce papers. No alimony, no shared assets, no second chances. She showed up right on time. Hair pulled back in a loose tie, no makeup, no heels. Just jeans, a faded hoodie, and sneakers that looked like they'd walked through more than a few regrets. She looked thinner, hollowed out, like the energy it took to keep up appearances had run dry. She slid into the booth across from me and didn't speak right away, just looked down at the table, then around the room like she didn't know where to land her eyes. Finally, she said, "Thanks for meeting me." I nodded once, said nothing. She took a breath. "I'm not here to make excuses." I stayed silent. She swallowed, her voice already catching. "I've been trying to figure out how I got here. How we got here. And I know you don't owe me anything. I know that. But I need to say this." I leaned back, arms crossed. Still didn't speak. "It started long before Vegas," she said, eyes finally meeting mine. "I felt like I was disappearing. Every day was the same. You were always working. I was always tired. And it just felt like no one saw me." I let her keep going. I wanted every excuse out of her system. Jake was stupid. It wasn't love. It wasn't even about him. It was just someone noticing me. Someone who thought I was fun, attractive, like I mattered. I stayed quiet. "He meant nothing," she said. "I didn't plan it. I didn't even like him like that. But once it started, I didn't know how to stop. And by the time I wanted to undo it, it was already too late." I waited 5 more seconds, just long enough to make her feel every bit of the silence she'd earned. Then I finally spoke. "You didn't feel seen, so you booked a luxury suite with another man and used my card to pay for it?" She looked away. "You didn't feel special, so you laughed by the pool with your coworker while I sat home thinking you were in Dallas?" Her voice came out quieter now. "I know. I screwed up." "No," I said. "You didn't screw up. You lied. You cheated. You dragged me through hell and then tried to spin it into a sob story about feeling invisible. You weren't invisible, Jenna. You were just entitled." Her eyes filled, but I didn't stop. "You used me like a damn ATM. Lied straight to my face while planning a weekend getaway with a guy who literally worked under you. And when it all blew up, you didn't come clean. You played dumb. You begged for cover. You let everyone else feel the fallout while you cried your way across town." She wiped her face with her sleeve, nodding slowly. "You're right." I reached into the booth seat beside me and pulled out the folder, slid it across the table. "What's this?" she asked. "Final papers, already reviewed. No alimony, no split assets. You leave with what you already have, which isn't much." She opened it, scanned a few lines. Her hand trembled. "You're not even going to talk about it?" "I just did," I said. "There's nothing left to talk about." "But I'm sorry," she said, tears finally slipping. "I mean it. I wish I could take it back." "And I mean this," I replied. "You're free now. So am I." That hit her harder than anything I'd said. She flinched, like the words stung more than a slap. "You can sign now or take it with you," I added, standing up. "But either way, it's done." She didn't move, just sat there holding the folder like it might break in her hands. I turned, walked past the counter, nodded to the waitress, and pushed through the door. Outside, the wind was cool against my face. I walked to my truck, opened the door, and didn't look back. She wanted closure. She got it. I didn't hear from Jenna after the diner. No more calls, no more voicemails, no surprise drop-ins. She just vanished, or tried to. Word trickled back through people who couldn't help sharing. She'd moved 2 towns over, got a job working the register at a chain pharmacy just off the interstate. No car, no vacations, no group selfies in hotel lobbies, just a name tag, fluorescent lights, and a long walk to the bus stop if her shift ended after dark. I didn't feel good about it, but I didn't feel bad either. It was just fitting. Mutual friends, the ones who hadn't picked sides but still saw everything, said she told people, "I used to have it all." Like her past was some distant life someone else ruined. Not the one she torched herself for a weekend fantasy and a guy who couldn't even spot her a breakfast tab. Meanwhile, I rebuilt. Got myself a used Chevy Silverado with a little rust around the edges but solid under the hood. Hauled scrap wood, cleared out the garage, and turned it into a workshop again. Started making things with my hands like I used to before everything got complicated. Chairs, frames, simple pieces, stuff that felt honest. A buddy from work invited me to a weekly poker night. No big stakes, just beer, cards, and a room full of guys who didn't care about my drama. I showed up one Friday and never stopped going. It was quiet, regular, and nobody talked about who they used to be. Just cards and laughter and the kind of silence that isn't heavy. Every now and then someone would mention Jenna, usually a quick line. Saw her at the Walgreens, or think she's dating some guy who used to bartend at Charlie's. Nothing ever stuck. Guess trust doesn't come easy when your story's been passed around town more than the liquor bottle at closing time. 6 months after the diner, I got an email. Subject, from Savannah. At first, I didn't recognize the name. Then it hit me. Jake's ex-wife. The message was short. Hey, just wanted to say thank you. To say, I never would have known if you hadn't done what you did. My life's better now. I hope yours is too. That was it. I didn't reply. Not because I didn't appreciate it, but because some things don't need answers. They just need to land. I sat with it for a minute, then archived the message and went back to sanding down a cedar plank for a custom bench I was building. The sawdust covered the screen like snow, and I didn't bother wiping it off. People say revenge is fire, something that burns hot, fast, loud, but that wasn't what I needed. What I needed was distance, silence, control. Not a scene, not a scream, not some dramatic ending with tears and apologies. Just the slow, steady work of rebuilding something real. I looked around that workshop one night and realized I finally felt alone, not abandoned, not betrayed, just alone, in a good way. And maybe someday, if the right woman crosses my path, I'll try again. No fairy tales, no blind faith, just honesty, work, eyes wide open. Would you have handed her those papers face to face or ghosted for good? Drop your answer in the comments, and hit follow if you want more.
YouTube picked this for you. Tap it. Let's see if they guessed right.